Welcome to the Business Boys Talkin-Business show with your hosts, Brian Magleby and Tyler Price.
When they redid that, it used to be with Tyler Price and Brian Magleby. They redid it and put the right name first.
I'm glad they did, because I don't do anything but show up on Tuesday. You do all the hustle work.
Oh, man. Yeah, there is. I do 90% of the work, and you get 90% of the glory,
there,
right?
I am better looking. So
yes, you are. So anyway.
Look at this Super T. There we go. Super T truck picture in the
look
back.
At that. Look at that in the background. Yeah. You got to like that. And Miller Brothers. We got a Miller Brothers truck. That's a picture from a year or two ago when he acquired them. So we're going to learn all about the Super T legacy here in town. What a great business that has been grown here in Eastern Idaho. To hear of how he's grown this business.
Yeah, we were talking and it was like, wow.
This is exciting. Look at this truck. If nothing else.
I know. I want that truck. So
who would want this?
I might be texting in.
That's right. So pay attention. We will be asking a nice trivia question today, talking about Super T transport. Talked about last week.
Yeah, we had Tyson on the show, right?
Over there just gloating. He was on the show.
He was running the show and sitting up here and everything.
Running the show while being on the show.
You kept pushing the buttons because you always wanted the camera on him. But
it was good. Good show. Tyson Bolcom with New Line Media does some great videography work. So great to have him on the show. And we've got, I can tell you, the star-studded lineup that we have for the next 6 weeks.
Good job.
Today starts it off with some major CEOs. We have got some exciting things to talk about with some of the guests we have coming up in the future. And then on the 29th, let's just talk about it now. The 29th, where are we going to be?
We're over at the Mountain America Credit Union Arena.
Yep.
And doing a live event over there. And hey, that hockey is coming soon.
Oh, did
Concerts
you hear the announcement
are coming
today?
soon. What was the announcement?
Big and Rich is going to have a concert on the day after the big grand opening. Yeah. They're going to be kind of a Monday, Tuesday, and it rounds it out Wednesday. They just announced Big and Rich.
So personally, is that a rapper or?
Now, come on, geez, you got to give it a big country, one of the big country guys.
There you go.
I've spent a lot of time in Nashville, and me and Mr. Big and Rich, I went to just a bar and hung out with him for a while.
And he danced with your wife.
And he danced with my wife.
So he wants to see her, not you, at the concert then.
Anyway, great, exciting to have them coming to kind of bring in the Mountain America Center. We'll be meeting with the guy that's kind of put that whole project together.
Yeah, boy, I met him back before it even was a thing, and I was like, well, it needs someone like you to push this thing over, and he did it.
Man, he's done great things to get that coming here and to see all the things that are happening at the Mountain America Center. We're going to be doing a broadcast live there at their grand opening on Monday, and then we'll be there to interview Rob, right?
Yeah, right.
Anyway, he's the guy that puts the whole
guy
thing together.
I consider him a friend, and I can't remember his name.
Yeah, that's
but
right.
I can't remember my kids' names.
But we'll be there on Monday. We'll be there Tuesday. We'll be there probably for the Big and Rich.
Yeah.
I bet you that we end up
all right.
there at the Big and Rich.
I might start appreciating country music.
You might.
So
I'll get you over to the countryside.
Yeah.
So we're excited about that. Let's talk about the one class that we have. Started all of our classes for the fall. Has just started last week. But we have a class coming up in January. This is called Strength-Based Leadership. It's taught by one and only. She's been a guest on the show, Christine Garner.
Yeah, and I think she's with a group that she gets her data from, and they what is it again? Sorry, Clifton Strengths. Yeah, and they really analyze real time what is happening in the workforce, because there's things that she brought up as she was talking about her upcoming class, and it's like, oh wow,
you take a test and you kind of learn what your leadership style is and how you best fit in with all the different types of leadership in the companies,
and then the people you got to lead.
Yep.
So yeah.
And so she tells you how to understand and become a better leader in your business. And so that class starts, I think, on the 10th of January. Is that right? Class is 11th of January.
You get a book, I believe, and you get a test, and I've taken the class. It's a great class.
It's a phenomenal class. Christine Garner's a phenomenal instructor with Envision Your Purpose. Great company. So we're looking forward to that class starting the first week or so in January. So it goes for January, starting on the 11th. So excited about that class. So today's guest, we have Heath Treasure.
Oh, sponsors.
We will get to the sponsors.
Yeah. Sponsors make this thing happen, and BBSI has been with us from the very beginning. We're very grateful to Jeremy Hicks and his group. He really has put an awesome group of people together there at BBSI.
The absolute best. If you want to find out the best employees, you go look at their staffing. Yeah. They're just absolutely phenomenal. We have not, I wasn't here on the week that you interviewed him. Yeah. Has he ever had anybody come in and said, these people just walk in randomly and get a Diet Coke or a Diet Pepsi out of our fridge, thanks to you telling them about our fridge?
I encourage people just walking in. They have fridges in their conference centers.
Just walk
in and grab a soda and leave.
Brian and Tyler said, I can come in and get a free drink. So we encourage you to.
Don't even ask. Just go take it.
You don't have to ask. Just tell them that we sent you. So in the SBDC, America's best kept.
Yeah, definitely. It's a best kept secret. If you're looking to start a business or have a business that you want to take to another level, coming in and get another set of eyes on it with people that have been there and done that, the SBDC is just doing great things. Then the Innovation Center, Brian does a great job with that. Do you have any spots available?
You know, I might have filled the last 2 offices that we have, but we have another one coming available in December. So we will always do. And if we don't find the spot for you, we will put you on a waiting list and get you in as soon as we can. We have some days coming available. We've got this exciting news we'll be talking about in coming weeks.
Oh, we can't talk about it yet?
Yeah, we can. It's a commercial kitchen. So if you are involved with any kind of commercial kitchen of producing foods, we're going to have an authorized legal place for you to do it that you can rent out. It'll be just a phenomenal facility that we're just putting together in the next few weeks. We'll be finalizing it. We've been working on this one for about 6 months. So.
Well, the food tastes as good as because in the illegal facilities, that food tastes great.
It does, but anyway, this one here will be legal, good tasting food. So.
Then Volpine Marketing with our website and keeping us
up to date.
And then, of course, Tyson that we had on the show with New Line Media. They do great things. He's if you need video
great videography work, great drone work, whatever you need to make your company look good with a video. I mean, with all the uptick of TikTok and YouTube and all these videos, I mean, you look even on Facebook now, it's all videos.
Yeah, and he's got some definite great plans and how to utilize that collateral. So.
Yeah, very good in working with companies and helping them in their videography. So. Appreciate the sponsors that couldn't do the show without them. So
let's get to Heath, man.
I'm so excited to have this guy. I've been suggested from multiple people to have Heath on the show.
Yeah.
Finally, I got his number, and we're excited to have the CEO of Super T Transport. Man, we kind of learning a little bit about his story. Started out doing, grunt work at a family-owned trucking company. Through that company, held many different positions in that, and then he started his own. And man, what a business he has grown!
Went from one truck and one employee being him to something pretty amazing, and we're going to talk about that.
We're going to learn all about how many that number is. So we're going to watch this 2-minute video here. It's Heath. It's kind of a recording of him of a thing that he did during COVID to his drivers to keep them motivated and encouraged. And this is a video that they produced for their company during COVID. It'll give you just a little bit of an idea of what they do and what some of their vehicles are and stuff like that. And then we'll welcome Heath Treasure, CEO of Super T Transport, to the set.
Hello, current and future Super T Transport drivers. Heath Treasure, President and CEO of Super T Transport. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this exciting video announcement that's talking about what we're doing here internally at Super T to become the driver's fleet of choice. Before I start, I want to thank you for your service. You are a true American hero. If America only knew what life would be like without you, serving, driving around the clock to keep our supply chain full. The reason I want you to listen to the clip is because I want you to know that we are working hard internally here to become the driver's fleet of choice. In my last announcement, we shared an increase to detention and layover pay. In this announcement, it's my pleasure to announce a fleet-wide pay increase of 2 cents per mile. It's always been important for us to stay competitive in the driver pay market. We closely evaluate our compensation package against hundreds of other companies to ensure that we are staying competitive. We feel like this cent per mile increase is well deserved for the hard work and dedication you each contribute to our team, and look forward to offering more in the future. Stay tuned for more announcements and to listen to exactly what we are doing here internally to become your fleet of choice.
Well, great. I have a love for trucking because my dad was on the bean counter side. He was a CFO for a trucking line. And I still have his trucks, his toy trucks that he had in his office and stuff. But you started.
Well, I guarantee that truck was not as nice as that truck that has Super T's logo on it.
Theirs were like the flat-faced trucks. I mean, had a camper in the back and stuff. But you started out kind of in a family business. Why don't you just, instead of me sitting here rambling, why don't you kind of tell us how did it start? How did Super T start? And then just kind of the story.
So when I came home from college and decided that wasn't for me, I came home and went to work at a local truck line here in Idaho Falls that was founded by one of the founders was my uncle. Ended up being completely owned by Morgan Edwards, and so I worked for Edwards Brothers for
right here
in Idaho
down
Falls.
The road.
Yeah, right here in Idaho Falls.
Yeah.
Worked for them for nearly a decade. I had various positions. That's where I learned how to drive truck.
Yeah.
Dispatch, customer service, sales, brokerage, you name it. I did it all there. I was the youngest one in there by probably 25 years.
Wow.
Or 30 years. I worked with a lot of people. That company had been around for 50 years.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of people that had been there. And they got bought out in 2005, I want to say. Mm-hmm. And by Knight Transportation, which is a publicly traded company.
Yeah.
Stayed there for a little while. And had some various things that I was involved in business wise, and some successes and some failures.
Yeah.
Painful failures, some of them.
Learning, right?
But at the end of the day, my knowledge was in truckload transportation.
Yeah.
And so right roughly around 2007, ended up getting our transportation authority, which allows you to do truckload transportation in the U.S., and went trucking. And that's basically where the story began.
And in the beginning, it was just you.
Just me, I was truck driver and first truck driver. Drove back and forth to Indianapolis and back. Still drive truck every once in a while on occasion.
Yeah.
A month ago or so,
when the jet's down, then they drive the truck.
Yeah, I would prefer to fly the airplane back and forth to Arizona, but I took a load to Arizona.
Yeah, and it's video. Actually, it's on YouTube.
Yeah, that's right.
You've got
they videoed me when I drove the truck down to Arizona, and I'll do that every once in a while, just to make sure I remember the roots of where it all started.
And trucks have evolved though over the years, right? I mean, there was a time when they were just flat faced, just total drag. I mean, they weren't aerodynamic to what we see today, and they're continuing to improve. What are some of the improvements that you've seen that you enjoy?
Well, I mean, at Edwards Brothers in the late 90s, we'd run trucks up to 700,000 miles, 1 million miles.
Yeah.
And we run our trucks at Super T to 400,000 miles. So they have a significantly less life cycle in our eyes.
Right.
And they cost a significant amount more.
Yeah.
So, but drivers are hard to get. They want newer, nicer trucks. So that's part of it. But with all the emissions and things that go into the trucks now, which cause them to be more expensive, they just, in our eyes, just don't have a useful life after 500,000 miles. So we're not running them as long. There's a lot of technology in them now. You know, you've got the
GPS.
We can see if a customer calls and wants to know where one of our trucks are, we can click a button and see exactly what our driver's seeing. So we can see a camera out the front of his truck. Say, well, you know, this is where he's parked at, or this is where, and it's real time camera in his trucks, forward and backward facing.
GPS to everywhere. You know, every mile that they go, and
they're all on a GPS. We used to do paper logbooks. That's all through their cell phone or through a pad on their dash of their trucks. If you go over the lane, it shuts your music off and tells you that you're going over the lane. So just a lot of new technology compared to what it was in the late 90s when I started driving.
See, I don't want my truck doing that because I'm always going over the lane just driving normal. So
anyway,
but it's good. I'm sure it's good because you don't want them falling asleep. I mean, there's a lot of liability in this too. But
a lot of liability.
But you started as a one-person guy, and then was there someone that mentored you around? Because a lot of people will get in and start making a living and just grind. You went a different route where you did acquisition to grow your business at some point.
Yeah.
So tell us about that. What happened there to make you say, man, I want to grow this thing?
I've never not worked since I was old enough to deliver newspapers.
Yeah.
So I've always been, I've always had a job. I've always found ways to make more money than the newspaper company wanted to pay me by offering different service. Sometimes I'd do different things, but the question about mentors is I've had many mentors, as I've traveled down my road to where I'm at today. There's definitely things that I would do differently. A work-life balance. Do you want to be a multimillionaire? Well, I think looking back now, I could do it a little bit differently and be a little bit better at balancing my work life and my home life.
We all unfortunately fall into that sometimes.
But multiple mentors. But the really big thing, I had somebody was interviewing me the other day, and I'm on a mission. We'll get to where Super T is at today, but I've got a new mission this year, and I'm on a mission to pass the message to new aspiring businessmen that you can become a millionaire, a multimillionaire, or whatever that success level is that you want, the old-fashioned blue-collar way. Yeah. Still, this everybody wants to get rich quick, and they want to do it through some quick technology idea or some invention, which I'm not saying is a bad way, but I really think the country has lost face with the fact that blue collar wealth is still exists.
Possible.
Still possible here, and that from driving truck to where we're at now is blue collar as blue collar as it gets.
But the trucking now, like pay wise, what these guys can get, and then really open their eyes to building their own line, right? I mean, the opportunity. Yeah, I own a trade school too, and it's like, this is a path to a 6-figure income. From there to level up, it's a whole different world. But someone can get to a 6-figure income as a truck driver. I don't know what they were paying back when my dad was running IML, but yeah, truck drivers now. I'm like telling kids that hate high school and hate. Well, do you want to drive a truck? Because man, trucking is not going away. Is that
you get to see the country too. Yeah, I had a guy that sold his business for $2 million, and he went to truck driving and just so he could see the country and stuff. So.
Yeah, and we have a handful of drivers that are in a ton of drivers that are in, making 6 figures. The wages are significantly up, but any business you want to get into, and I don't think I could have grown my business if I couldn't see through the lenses of the people that were working for me.
Yeah.
The majority of the staff that works for me are truck drivers, and you've got to be able to understand all the different dynamics of a business that you want to build and grow and turn into being successful. Really have to understand how those people are treated, what they're seeing through their lenses. That's based on my experiences. I'm not saying my avenue's the only avenue, but I really feel like you need to be able to have a good understanding of all aspects of any successful business.
So in 2005 you started with. When did you start this? 2007?
2007-ish is when we got our authority.
Right,
so about 15 years.
Yeah,
15
beginning
years
of the economy crunch there.
Yeah.
So not a good easy time. But tell us how you've kind of grown the business up to kind of where it's at now. So I mean,
well, look. First of all, you get up and you go to work every day, and you work hard.
Some people don't realize that.
Yeah, that's a big part of it.
I think people see whatever it is that I have that they are envious of, whether it's a nice car, whether it's the fact that I get to enjoy flying airplanes, whatever it is, and they don't get to see all the blue collar hard work that goes into that. And so there's a lot that goes into it, but the most important thing, and I try to make sure my kids understand this, is failure is mandatory on the road to success. I mean, we could have a whole podcast on all the bruised knees and the black eyes, not only that I've gotten in business. I've essentially been broke before that I've received in business. And at the time when those things are happening, you think it's the end of the world. But looking back on it now, the comforts and luxuries I have now, I wouldn't be where I'm at today if I didn't overcome those challenges and those black eyes. And so, an aspiring businessman, and I'm probably getting sidetracked. I can't remember your question, but an aspiring...
Where you're at now. So you're going to tell us where you're at.
Aspiring businessman needs to understand that failure is a necessity to be able to get to...
Every failure gets you closer to the big success.
And you learn from it. You've got to learn from that failure, and that's what helps build you into a good decision maker and a good CEO of a good organization.
Yeah.
So I know in the picture we have here is a Super T and a Miller Brothers, and I'm familiar with the Miller Brothers company out of Logan.
Yep.
And so talk about that. So you grew it up until the last couple of years, and then you acquired them.
We were just shy of 100 trucks or about 100 trucks, and I think it's been about, I want to say it's been about 5 years ago. I became friends with the owner of Miller Brothers Express in Utah. They've been around for 30, 40 years.
Yep.
In fact,
Great company.
when I was little, I used to see their trucks had really cool black and gold trucks and black trailers.
Yep.
And I was always envious of their truck line and their fleet. Yep. But long story short, we negotiated a deal. I ended up acquiring Miller Brothers Express about 5 years ago, roughly. And
trucks,
trailers, their entire book of business, their staff. We folded them into our organization, and it really gave us a good shot in the arm. He wanted to retire. Still a really good friend of mine.
Yeah.
We talk pretty regularly. And then about 3 years ago, we acquired another truck line that was down in Phoenix, Arizona. And every acquisition has a learning lesson, and you don't really know what that learning lesson is going to be until you get into it, eyeballs and elbows.
Yeah.
But all of them were really great learning lessons, and it built our truck line up to where it is today, which is right around 200 trucks and 350 trailers roughly.
Wow. And they're all in the reefers.
All in the refrigerated space. We've always focused on primarily perishable foods, so we haul a lot of ingredients that go into Chobani yogurt, for example, or sliced cheese, or meat, or beef, potatoes, a lot of potatoes, a lot of French fries for Five Guys Burgers and Fries, or Rick Miles Produce here in town, but a lot of food grade perishable type products.
So what are you loving about the business right now? Because you were telling us cool stuff, and I don't know what we should talk about or shouldn't talk about, but what is it that because you, again, starting with one truck, you figured out, wow, to really grow it, I can keep grinding here, or I can acquire. Acquire comes with costs and headaches at times, right? Yeah. Everything comes with headaches. But what are you loving about what's been built?
Look, it's pretty hard to love the trucking business when the fuel is as high as it is right now.
That's a whole nother topic.
And I want to come back to that topic.
We'll come back to that. But listen, the relationships that I built, not only with our trading partners and our employees, are second to none. Yeah. I mean, I often say that there's not one person that built our business. It was a team of people, whether it was the truck drivers or the guys in the shop. servicing the trucks, or the dispatchers or the accounting people. I have been so fortunate to surround myself with people that are way better than me, and have really made it so.
But it takes the leader to get them all on board. I'll tell you that. So.
Well, yeah, I mean that. I don't mind leading, but you've got to find talent. Surround yourself.
If you don't have that
talent.
It's all the people. It's all the people. Sure. So you brought up fuel. Okay. So I'm hearing, and maybe it's just because today's voting day, that we have 15 days of diesel in the United States of America. What's the reality of that? But for sure we've seen the price go up. That definitely affects you. But what's the reality of the diesel shortage?
Well, if you don't like the price at the pump, you probably should get out and vote today.
Yeah.
But
well said on voting day.
We won't get too sidetracked on that discussion. But our fuel vendor is the largest fuel vendor across the nation that we have contract negotiations with. The fuel shortage is something to be concerned with and keep an eye on. But the vendor that we negotiate with, and a lot of people in my industry buy fuel futures and they have reserves, they have millions and millions of dollars of reserves. Up in the Northeast, it seems to be a little bit of a problem. But overall, the reserves that they have are different than the reserves that the United States has.
Yeah.
And they have a significant amount of reserves. I think we'll be just fine at making sure food gets on the shelves. And they'll cut down. The problem is they'll cut down the regular consumer before they shut their truck lines down.
Because what would happen if truck lines were shut down?
It would be our whole
world
world
would be empty.
Our whole world would stop.
It would stop.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the world, a little bumblebee. If we don't have those little bumblebees, think of what would happen. I mean, trucking, same thing. Because everything we do, especially now, how consumers buy things, if we don't have our truck lines, so maybe it sounds like it is an issue, but it sounds like politicians maybe are talking it up a little bit.
I think the news outlet, the news media, it's a serious issue that we got to keep an eye on. But I think it's probably a little bit bigger of an issue in the national media than what we're facing. But the fuel.
But it does scare you.
It's a concern. The fuel cost is a bigger concern.
Yeah.
We're paying more for fuel right now. We start tracking the DOE fuel in 1995, and we track it. We have algorithms and dashboards that we track it. We haven't paid as much for fuel in the truckload transportation business since they started tracking in 1995.
Wow.
So it's as high as it's ever been. And you're the one paying for it, really, at the end of the day. I mean, I'm feeling it, but you're really feeling it when you're buying groceries on the shelf.
And it definitely shows, right? Yeah. And it's like, I'm not going to sit here and point fingers, but if you let industry run it, we will take care of it, right? So you've also mentioned that you're in the trailer space, and that sounds like a cool space. But before we maybe let you talk about that, what about some of these disruptors like Elon Musk, who's trying to build these electric trucks, and then you had Nikola down in Utah trying to do it a little differently. Are those things that you look at? Are those things that you feel would be something that you'll be able to benefit from?
I think we're probably a good decade away from them being having a viable presence in the market space that we're in. Our trucks are running round the clock. Yeah. We're putting 150,000 miles a year on those trucks. Yeah. Some of those trucks that we have are getting even 30,000 miles a month. So I do think it's something to keep an eye on. I would never bet against Elon Musk. No. I mean, he
on or against, right?
On or against, yeah. And I think it will have a space in our industry. But I think we're a little ways from the self-driving trucks and the electric trucks.
Yeah.
Definitely. As we do on all of our shows, we ask them to give us some advice for some of the entrepreneurs out there, and I'm just going to read. Got 5 or 6 points here that I thought was just crucial. And so, entrepreneurs, listen up there. What a legacy this guy has built, going from one truck, 2007, to over 200 of them now, and 350 trailers. But here's some advice that he gives. Learn to not fear failure, and that's a crucial thing for all entrepreneurs, and he's hit on that a few times. Figure out a balance that allows important parts of your life to remain in the forefront, which you talked on once again. Pave your own path that has its own flavor. Absolutely great advice. You might even trademark that. That's a great little saying there. Push yourself and staff to be better daily, and look at obstacles as opportunities and stay grounded. And that's just phenomenal advice to the entrepreneurs out there. So
absolutely.
And I'm sure that you've had some mentors that have taught you those things as well.
Yeah, everybody's got their own sayings. I've either picked some up from people that I like, or I've come up with some of my own things that I, quote to my staff and try to keep them motivated. But it's, success is not easy. Starting from one truck to growing it to where it is today, and then selling it to a Red Bull owned company, or a partially Red Bull owned company.
So that's the latest news here is that
and that's cool stuff. Tell us a little bit about, because are you going to drive a Formula One car? That's my bigger question.
I can only hope. So I can only hope. But
so Super T, talk to us about that.
So as the years have gone on, I've been involved in multiple businesses. So I have a portfolio of businesses that we own, and that I can still continue to own as well. So you mentioned that, but Super T specifically, the truck line. About a year ago, there was some communication from one of our customers, Red Bull, the energy drink people, and it's actually a company a truck line in Europe that they're partial owners of. So had reached out and said, hey, we've been asked by the board of directors to pick someone up like you in the U.S. and so fast forward those long negotiations and conversations along. We've been acquired this year. It was on Yahoo National News, Yahoo Finance. You can Google it and read all about it. But we've been acquired by a partially owned Red Bull company, and
exciting.
Are hauling more Red Bull than I'm drinking it.
How much Red Bull can America drink?
They drop ship it to our offices by the pallet. It's more Red Bull than I ever could have thought of drinking. But the exciting thing is our opportunity right here in Southeast Idaho to be involved with the Red Bull Motorsports division. So Red Bull Motorsports, which is Formula One, KTM, so on and so forth, we're in the process of building an events division that will be serving as their transportation line for some of their facilities at the Formula One races. And about 95% of the crew, which is a pretty good sized crew, 21 trucks that'll go in there, and then the construction crew will all originate right here in Southeast Idaho, to go down and build those facilities for them in the Formula One racing.
Wow, that's great opportunity that you're helping to bring to Southeast Idaho. So I just think, and I like cars, so but to drive a Formula One car, there is a lot of training that goes into that. It's not like driving a regular car. I've never done the training. But
I think I seen on YouTube that those things cost like $12 million a piece. So I don't know much. Red Bull is Red Bull, and I'm just out here. We're just happy to have an opportunity to
partner with such a great company.
To partner and handle their transportation and setup of some of their events at here in the U.S. and hopefully Mexico and in.
Right.
Wow.
Awesome.
Well, what a legacy. I think that's a great word that you're building here. You built a phenomenal company here with Super T Transport, and there's other things. Like you said, you've got your hands in a few other things.
We didn't even talk about trailers that much.
And
the other things. But
he's got his hands in a lot of different things. But man, I hope that the entrepreneurs that are watching the show are paying attention. That you, through doing hard work, you can be just like a Heath Treasure here, and have a successful, growing business. Is there anything else that you want people to know about Super T Transport, the trailers, the Formula One, Red Bull, anything that you want more to know about?
First and foremost, I'd be remiss if I didn't put a little plug in there and mention that if you're looking into a career as an over-the-road truck driver, you want to get in the transportation business, I encourage you to come talk to us. I feel like we've got a lot to offer. The over-the-road truckload transportation.
Pay-wise, truck-wise, in the country.
Wise.
Yeah,
brand new trucks, opportunities to get involved in the Red Bull network since we're partially owned by them, and in the the Red Bull event setup. Just opportunities galore. Come talk to us. And then as far as what else do I have to say? Look, when I talk to people, they only want to talk about my success and not the failures. I can assure you that there are a lot more failures to talk about than the success story.
Yeah.
So don't keep your chin up. Don't get down and out when you start getting hit with failures, because I can tell you that if you continue on the road and power through and just get up the old blue collar way and work hard, success is out there for you.
Yeah.
It comes through good work ethic and perseverance.
Yeah.
If you don't believe that you can be a blue collar, one day and be a multimillionaire, down the road, if you put your heart and mind to it, then you can do it. So very, very good. Thank you for being on our show and sharing your entrepreneurism with the people here in Idaho. Talk to us about this quote that you have here.
So I don't know if I butchered this from somebody else that said it, and I've added my own stuff to it. But it echoes a lot of the things that I talk to anybody about that wants advice from me. But it's failure is not the end, but only a curve or a bump in the long road to success. Exactly what I talked about on your podcast. I really truly believe in that. If the first bump I ran into, or the first time I thought I was going to get financially wiped out, if I called that the end of the road, we wouldn't be here talking today.
Nope.
So it's just a speed bump in the long road to success. That's really how I feel.
Very good. Well, love that. That is a great quote there. So we appreciate you being here on the show. We're going to transition right into a great training topic today about attitudes is everything. So we've got so let's just talk about this, and we've got a great cool little video that I found. We're going to be doing some of these. I found this the thing called Successories, and it's one of their books, and they are going to be and we're going to be talking about them over the next through the end of the year. I've got things planned out for that. But attitude is everything. And we're going to watch a video out at the end of this that kind of talks about if the show doesn't pump you up to be a super entrepreneur, this video I guarantee will. So let's go through this. Attitudes are contagious. Is yours catching? Number one, wait to worry. If you focus all on that, you're just going to go down the drain of failure. But you just past every failure is your next opportunity for success.
I think I learned this later in life, because now something happens that maybe I should be worrying about. I just don't freaking care. It's going to work itself out, right?
No reason to worry about it.
But worry just causes stress.
Yep.
So
keep an attitude of gratitude, and just like Keith here today has talked about how he couldn't have grown his business to being what it is without his staffing, and you got to just always be grateful for those people that help get you and help you on the road to success of a business.
Your health is your wealth. I get up every morning at 6 a.m., not because I like to, but because that's the time that I have for me. And I go walk the Greenbelt. And it doesn't matter if it snowed while I was in bed. And I do it year round, because these little grannies shame me into it. I was like, hey, so when do you guys go into because you see the same people, right? When do you go into the gym? And these little grannies are like, why would you go into the gym? You just put more clothes on and get down here. And I'll say that advice they gave me was to stay at the Greenbelt.
Yeah.
It is, and it helps my health physically, but mentally it gets me in the game too.
It does.
So.
And then
my green smoothies are growth, but man, they make you feel good. So
yep. Joy boomerangs, and I kind of wondered what this was going on, but do something for someone else. I thought that was a really good thing, and you're going to learn about this in the video. But do something for someone else. The good you do boomerangs back to you. And there's no better way to make yourself feel better than to give service to someone else. So.
Yep. Learn to say no. I mean, I think sometimes people always get asked to do things that maybe they shouldn't be involved in. And then it takes away from, because you talked about work-life balance. There's probably stories behind that. I got them too, right? But sometimes you need to say no.
It was one of the best things I did is I set this as a New Year's goal is I needed to start saying no more often. And I'll tell you, my happiness and my attitude went off the charts by just saying no to some things. So it's a great principle. Understand the power of discipline. You can't build any kind of successful business without being disciplined. Is that right?
That's true.
You haven't done it by living on the sidelines.
Right.
Well, and number 7, you've already spoke to it, but let's have Heath talk to that a little bit.
So number 7 is surround yourself with positive people. The results are completely driven by positivity. I mean, some of our biggest challenges, and we at my businesses have challenges every day, and those challenges are so much easier to overcome. You can keep your chin up and put a smile on your face.
People want to be around positive people. If you just think of people in your life, the ones that you really want to be around are the people that have a good positive outlook on life. And so great 7 bits of advice. You got to stay tuned to watch this video after at the end of the show. That just kind of will buoy you up about having the right type of attitude. So next week on the show, we have Dan Beck. I got off the phone with him just confirming everything before this show. CEO of TextWire, a phenomenally growing company. You know, I ran onto this guy. I was actually buying a snowmobile from him a couple weeks ago, and I said, "Man, I've been wanting to get you on the show." And he's like, "Yeah, I'd love to be on the show." And so he's grown a heck of a business here.
So Dan's a friend of mine, and he has a twin brother, and I can't tell them apart. So if I'm somewhere, I always wait. And me and his brother
Mark?
don't. Mark. I don't know his brother at all, really.
I met him when I bought a snowmobile.
Whenever I walk in and see him, I'm like, I always look at him, and then if it's Dan, hey Tyler, and if it's Mark, then it's like he doesn't know me. So then I just go about my business.
Anyway, Bill, I was talking to him about some of the success, but man, he has built a heck of a company, and we're going to learn all about it next week with TextWire. Following week, let's see here, that's the 15th and the 22nd. Oh, we got two. We're going to have a double show on the 22nd. 22nd, 2.
There you go.
We got 2 guests on the 22nd. We got a guy that is the number 4 bull rider in the world.
Yeah.
He's going to the NFR in December. Garrett Smith from Rexburg, Idaho. He's going to be a guest.
That's a cool guest.
Yeah. He's a phenomenal. He started a nonprofit, and he's going to be here to talk about some things that he's doing with that on the 22nd. Plus, we have Dutch from Action Motorsports. So Action Motorsports. It's his father-in-law that owns it, but he's kind of the manager of it. Dutch will be on the show. He's had some challenges in life, went through some cancer, and we're going to talk to him all about how Action Motorsports, what a great business here in Eastern Idaho is. And then on the
some
29th,
bull power and some horsepower.
That's right, bull power and horsepower. Yeah. I love it. Maybe that's how we'll title the show. And then on the 29th, we're going to be out to the Mountain America. We've got Rob from...
I can't wait to get in there, yeah.
It is going to be a great thing on the 29th, and we've got shows lined up just like that through December. So we're excited to this ball rolling with the Talkin-Business. Thank you, Heath. We wish you the best. Continued growth and continued success with Super T and all your other adventures.
Thanks for having me, guys. Yeah. It was good discussion.
Very good. Right. Let's give away our... we got to give this away.
Yeah, if we didn't, I was taking it home.
Yeah, I know you were. So look at this awesome Super T truck here. I guarantee any kid out there would want this for Christmas. Yeah. This being under the Christmas tree. So let's ask a trivia question. Can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
I got one. Originally, the company that he started working for here, and it was a family, part of his family that he worked for here in Idaho Falls on the corner of Holmes and Anderson, a great company that I'll say that they sold out to Night Transportation. But what was the name of the original company? Put my cell phone number up there if you would, Tyson, and text me if you can come up with the name of the original trucking company that he worked for as a youth, right out of college.
Yep.
Here in Idaho Falls. What was the name of that trucking company here in Head? For the first person to text me, you're going to have a great little Super T truck for you. So,
all right.
So very good. Thanks for tuning in to Talkin' Business. Give us a thumbs up, Heath. We end the show with a thumbs up every week. Thanks, everybody. Have a great week.